What if everything you trusted, everything you leaned on, suddenly vanished? Your friends, your money, your plans gone, and in that silence when you have nothing left. That's when there comes a point in every man's life when he realizes he has nothing left but God, not because God is punishing, but because he is calling you to something greater. When the friends who promised to stay disappear, when the money you worked so hard for slips away, when those you trusted go silent, and you stand amidst the ruins of your former life, that's when you finally encounter God in a way you never have before. Many people speak of faith when life is easy, but true faith is discovered when all your options are gone. As long as you have backup plans, you'll cling to them. As long as people are there to lean on, you'll trust them first. But when every door shuts, every voice fades and you are left alone, that's when you face the ultimate truth. If God is all you have, God is all you need, in that sacred quiet when you can't call anyone else, when you have no one to impress, when your strength is spent, that's where the transformation begins. Isolation turns into God's classroom. In those hidden valleys of pain and surrender, a man discovers who God truly is. What seemed like abandonment becomes preparation. What felt like loss becomes protection. And what looked like the end turns out to be the beginning of transformation. Look at Job. In a single moment, he lost his wealth, his children, and his health. Friends turned their backs. Even his wife told him to curse God and die. Yet in the ashes of despair, Job proclaimed, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord," out of Job 1:21. When Job had nothing but God, he found a faith unshakable by circumstance. David experienced the same truth. Before he became king, he hid in caves. No armies, no palace, no loyal allies, just him and God. And in those lonely nights, he wrote, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." Psalm 27:10. His isolation was not punishment, it was preparation. God often hides his greatest warriors in silence before he reveals them to the world. Dependence on God unlocks power. While we have people to lean on, we often deceive ourselves into thinking we are strong. But when no one is left, that's when we truly learn to lean on God alone. Moses discovered this in the wilderness. Without plans, without strength, and without answers, he looked to God. God provided manna from heaven, Exodus 16, and water from a rock, Exodus 17. The lesson was clear. Provision comes from divine dependence, not human effort. Paul reiterates this truth in Philippians 4:19, "My God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus." When a man has no one left, he witnesses miracles he could never have imagined, because dependence creates space for God's power to work. Sometimes God allows loss, not to destroy, but to show that he has always been enough. When God becomes your only option, you realize he was the best option all along. Loneliness transforms into intimacy. When nothing else remains, loneliness is no longer emptiness. It becomes closeness with God. Jesus himself withdrew to solitary places to pray before every major moment miracle, and even before the cross, Luke 5:16. Those moments were not wasted, they were sacred. David's most beautiful psalms were written not in victory, but in hiding, in caves, in sorrow, and in despair. Psalm 34:18 reminds us, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." Trials forge unshakable strength. Joseph knew this. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in prison, he had no one but God. And yet, he declared, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 50:20. Every prison, every hardship was preparation for his future. James 1:2-3 tells us, "Consider it pure joy when you face trials, because the testing of faith produces perseverance." Pain is never wasted. When all human support fades, God teaches you to stand in his strength. You do not emerge from the fire broken, you emerge refined, stronger, and ready for your calling. God is more than enough. When a man loses everything, he realizes God isn't just all he has left, he is all he will ever need. Paul knew this. Even in chains and abandoned by men, he wrote in Philippians 3:8 about the surpassing value of knowing Christ. He lost freedom, comfort, and companionship, but found joy because Christ remained. Psalm 73:26 sums it up. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Everything else fades, but God remains. He is not the last resort, He is the source. Once you understand that, you stop grieving what is gone, because you have already gained the most important thing. When the noise stops, the applause ends, support disappears, and it's just you and God. Most people call it rock bottom. Heaven calls it rebirth. This is where God rebuilds what the world tried to destroy. This is where faith becomes real, not theoretical. The same God who met Job in ashes, hid David in caves, walked with Joseph through prison, and strengthened Paul in chains walks with you today. If your life feels broken, don't see this as punishment. See it as an invitation to know God more deeply. He's not finished with you. He is removing the temporary supports so that your foundation stands on Him alone. Do not flee the silence. Embrace it. The silence is where He speaks. The stillness is where He heals. And the loneliness is where He makes you whole. You may have lost people, plans, and possessions, but if God remains, you still have everything. If you believe this, say it, God is enough. Your story isn't ending, it is just beginning. When God becomes your everything, you finally become who you were created to be. What if everything you trusted, everything you leaned on, suddenly vanished? Your friends, your money, your plans, you're gone. And in that silence, when you have nothing left, that's when you finally discover God. Stay with me, and by the end of this video, your faith will never be the same.